It is Tuesday, which of course means it's time for me to answer the questions that you guys send in each and every single week on the BrendenPlayz forums at BrendenPlayz.com/forums or in the YouTube comment section down below. We are coming off the first ever WWE Fastlane pay-per-view, and I will give my full thoughts and opinions on the show throughout the video. Plus, we will talk about WrestleMania 31, baby. It's here. We are officially on the last few weeks of the road to WrestleMania. We're halfway there, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be an exciting ride, and I'm looking forward to taking the ride, and I'm very interested to see what they're going to do, how the card's shaping up to be, but I will talk about some matches that's been announced so far, and we'll get into a little bit more as well. Plus, some NXT talk as well, so we've got plenty to come in today's episode, so kick back as we get into today's first question. And it's coming from HBK for the win. What are your thoughts on Fastlane? So Fastlane, the first ever Fastlane show, and I really didn't think much of it. You know, the name, and I guess I personally was disappointed in the set of the show. I mean, they could have put a couple of cars out there. I mean, I guess it would have been like Over the Limit, but it pretty much is, you know, similar kind of concept to Over the Limit, I suppose. They really didn't try at all with Fastlane, really, to try and make it seem like a special show for the first time. I mean, at least for Battleground, I believe they did something decent for it, and Payback as well. But this show, it just seems like they didn't give a shit. I personally enjoyed Fastlane. I thought the show was good, but the one problem with the show that made the whole show poor was the Memphis crowd. Now, if any of you live in Memphis, I'm sorry, but Memphis is a no-go. It is now blacklisted. It is dead to me. I'm never going to Memphis because it has left a sour taste in my mouth. That crowd was fucking awful. I am pissed. You know, watching the show, I'm seeing Sting come out and Triple H and Sting going at it. I'm personally going, yes, this is awesome. I'm seeing Golden Stardust. Yes, I don't really care about them all that much, but I can see them working hard to try and put on something decent, and they're telling a good story in the match, yet all you could hear was crickets. Crickets! You couldn't hear a single thing. You could hear a needle drop. It was embarrassing. The crowd ruined the show, to be honest. I mean, if the crowd was good, the show would have been a great pay-per-view, in my opinion. But, yeah, just overall, I did enjoy it. It didn't really keep my attention, though, which is probably another issue I had with it. Some of it, you know, I was like, yeah, this is pretty decent, but I was, you know, looking at my chat on my forums, or I was on the Twitter, I wasn't really paying attention to the show sometimes, but I guess that's just how WWE is right now, for me at least. I got to be doing two things at once whilst I'm watching WWE, otherwise I feel like I'm wasting my time. But yeah, I mean, overall, I did enjoy the show. I'm not going to complain too much. For the first ever Fastlane, it was good. It could have been better, yes. I mean, hopefully, I don't know why they've stopped doing this whole same, you know, every single pay-per-view is the same set, looks the same, doesn't feel special, looks the same as Raw, except for a different name and a couple of different colors. It's just embarrassing. It's just, you know, if they want to sell pay-per-views, they're trying to sell the network on pay-per-views. Yet each pay-per-view just feels like Raw. They don't even make it look special. So that's something that they really need to do. I know they're doing the whole budget cut crap, but come on, it's time to start putting in a little bit of money to make your pay-per-views look somewhat decent. I know they're going to go all out with WrestleMania, which is really the only show of the year that they actually try to make the pay-per-views look any good, make it look any different. So at least they do that for WrestleMania. But come on, you couldn't have thrown a couple of cars out there, make it look like something different, you know? But whatever. So yes. Finish up Fastlane. Look, my main grief was just the crowd, to be honest, and I'll get into more match specifics as the questions roll on later on. The next question is from Bashka. What are some of your match predictions for WrestleMania? So, obviously we have Sting versus Triple H, so that's been a given for a while now since the Survivor Series. I'm looking forward to that. I think that's going to be really good. I honestly think Sting is going to win it, but I know a lot of people are trying to say Triple H is going to win it. But I really can't see them bringing in Sting and having him lose his first match. I get the feeling Triple H is going to put him over. I think Triple H will do that. And I don't think Sting is going to have one match. I think he's going to have two. So if they bring him back and just lose his first match, well then what the hell's the point of that, you know? So it's kind of just devalue Sting's first ever match, you know? So his first ever run, his one and only match in the WWE is a loss? Come on, man. So I think Sting's going to win it. We also have the world title match. I think obviously Roman Reigns, I believe, is still going to win that. And I'm glad Roman Reigns is going to win it. I've ranted a lot about the whole Roman Reigns situation. I'm not going to get into it today's episode, maybe next week. But yeah, I still think Roman Reigns is gonna deservedly win that, and I'm on the Reigns train, man. He impressed me at Fastlane. I'm pretty happy with Roman Reigns' performance at Fastlane, and you know, he's getting a lot better, and he's earning the respect from me, anyways. But and we heard about the Andre the Giant Battle Memorial, whatever the hell it is. I know it's always a tongue twister trying me to say that, and I think Ryback would have to be the odds-on favorite to win that. So other matches, obviously Seth Rollins and Randy Orton looks like it's a go-ahead. Fatal 4-way match for the IC title. I kind of predicted that. I was talking about that on my forums. I predicted that they should do a Fatal 4-way match, but instead of R-Truth, I don't know why the hell R-Truth is in there. I had Luke Harper in there, but whatever. So that should be good. Tag team match. I don't know who they're going to pin the Usos. Wait, who's the chat? Oh, Cesaro and Kid. My bad. Maybe the Usos tag team rematch. I think that could happen. I don't know. Maybe a Fatal 4-way tag team match, triple threat. You know, they always kind of do that. Tag team turmoil, whatever the hell. So they'll probably do something like that. But yeah, and then I guess Golden Stardust might have another match. And what are they going to do with Daniel Bryan? I don't know. Sheamus return, Daniel Bryan. I don't really care for that match, but it could be okay. So yeah, I mean, WrestleMania is shaping up to be pretty decent. Of course, Undertaker and Bray Wyatt as well. So that's just really what I'm thinking. That's not really much predictions. It's pretty obvious my thoughts there, and I think all the groundwork for most of the matches has been laid out by now anyways. So I think it's pretty obvious where they're kind of going now in WrestleMania. But you want my thoughts? I'm looking forward to it. I think it's shaping up to be a pretty decent show, to be honest. This next question is from Tasteful Chain 4. What are your thoughts on making Goldust versus Stardust at Fastlane? Was it a waste of an 8-year match in the making? Or was it the right decision? Well, you think about it, look at the crowd on that match. I don't know, I know it was Memphis, and even then, you looked at the crowd on Raw tonight. Nashville, who are actually pretty good tonight. Well, yesterday, whatever. But, yeah, so you look at the crowds, nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. So, honestly, get it over and done with her Fastlane. It might be the best choice. I mean, I like the story they're telling. I really do. I actually do like the feud. I watched the video package at Fastlane. I thought, wow, this is actually shaping up to be quite interesting. I'm actually enjoying it. I mean, it's kind of turned a new page in my decision. You know, my thoughts on Stardust. You know, it's Stardust. To be honest, it's not a great gimmick at all. It's been a colossal failure. Let's be honest. Stardust has sucked, but this whole persona has taken over Cody Rhodes' mind, and he can't snap out of it. You know, it's taken over him. That kind of side of it's pretty cool to me. I do like that. So where they're going right now with Stardust, I do really like that, and how Goldust is trying to help his brother snap out of it and come back to normal or whatever. I really do like that. So that's cool. I think that's a cool storyline to do. Like I said, you know, this match probably should have happened when they had more steam last year, and instead of having them team up and whatever. But, you know, I guess, does anybody really care about this match? I mean, they did it at Fastlane, it was decent, but it was just dead. Nobody cared. So it's difficult to say that it deserves a WrestleMania spot. I think it will still get it, but they're going to have to do a lot of work to really make this seem more interesting to the general public, because right now, most of the fans don't really care. I mean, they are doing a pretty decent storyline, but just in ring, it's just not happening. I just think people just don't care about Stardust and Goldust in 2015 right now. Next up is from Oliver Griffin. What are your thoughts on the return of Randy Orton? So obviously Randy Orton returning at the beginning of Fastlane, and I actually missed that. I was still asleep when that was happening because I don't know if you guys know, Raw and the pay-per-views happen early in the morning for me. Well, it's not early, but in the morning for me. So I was still asleep. I slept in, and I woke up, and I went on the chat on my website where I was discussing the pay-per-view with everyone else on there, and, you know, I was like, oh, what did I miss? And they're like, Randy Orton return, Randy Orton. I'm like, oh, thanks, guys. So I got it spoiled for me. I think it would have been pretty awesome if I had been watching it live and see it come out, and, yeah, but good to see Randy back. I guess we were all waiting. We were just going, when is he returning? Is it going to be this week, this week? Every week it was like, yep, Randy's coming back this week. You come back, and it just didn't happen. But my thoughts on it, I was really, I guess, disappointed at the end of Raw today. Watching it, I was like, yes, I'm really keen to see Randy Orton kick Seth Rollins' ass in the main event. We know what's going to happen. Randy's going to turn on Rollins, he's going to beat the hell out of him, give an RKO to everyone and clean house and be awesome. didn't happen. It just kind of, I was just expecting it. I was hyped up to see it, and then this just didn't happen. It just didn't happen. I don't know. It's just kind of handshake, and he walked off. I was like, what? Are you kidding me? So I don't know. I don't know where they kind of going with this. They're going to make these two guys be friends for a couple of weeks, and you know, then more dissension happens with the Authority, and then they break up again, and Randy turns on him. I don't know. I think it would have been smarter to pull the trigger tonight, perhaps. You know, I just, yeah. So you know, obviously Randy Orton and Seth Rollins, that's a given. There's no other direction for those two guys to go in. I mean, what else can they do in a space of 4 weeks now? So it's a given that they're going to have a match at WrestleMania. It's just going to be, when do they pull the trigger on it? Is it going to be next week on Raw? Is it going to be 2 weeks from now? I don't know. It's got to be soon though, right? I don't know. But yeah, so yeah, I'm happy to have Randy back. Really am. I think we needed him back, and I'm enjoying Randy Orton in the past 2 or 3 years. I really have been. And him as a babyface, I always liked him more as a heel, but I'll get on the Randy Orton bandwagon for now as a babyface, at least for a while. Probably, I think he'll go a good 6 months, and then we'll start to be turn him heel, you know. So let's enjoy it while he lasts. This next question is from 37 Will Dog. What did you think of Rusev beating John Cena? I was surprised. I was expecting a DQ finish or some bullshit finish, and to keep Cena looking strong, but keep Rusev's undefeated streak intact for WrestleMania. Yet Rusev made Cena pass out. Cena couldn't get out of that accolade, and it was all over. You know, Rusev made him pass out. Yes, he gave him a low blow, but, you know, he gave him a low blow, then Cena passed out. And who passes out from a low blow? So obviously the accolade or whatever the hell it is, made him pass out. So Rusev, to me, that's a submission win. He beat Cena there, so I'm pretty damn happy that Cena, I guess, quote-unquote, put him over. And, you know, you could have had Cena beat him there, and you could have just ruined Rusev. I've been saying for a while, if Rusev loses to Cena, I really feel as though Rusev's done, because Cena doesn't need the win. Rusev needs the win more than Cena needs the win, and it's time to kind of build some new talent, right? So Cena beats Rusev just doesn't do anything for anybody. You know, if you had someone like Ryback, or maybe not Dolph Ziggler, but if you had someone like Ryback, an up-and-coming guy, beat him, then it makes sense. You know, you have a guy who needs a big win like that, gets it, and you can start building him up. You know, but if you have Cena do it, well, what's the point? We've seen him overcome everybody, so it just doesn't mean anything. So I hope at WrestleMania, because obviously they're gonna have another match. It's pretty obvious now. But obviously at WrestleMania, if Cena beats Rusev there, you can argue, oh, he beat him at WrestleMania, it's fine, you know. Will it be fine? Will Rusev ever be the same? And plus, do we really want to see Cena with the US title? Not really. I mean, not really. Come on. So he'll have that title until he feels like retiring. I mean, there's nobody in the mid-card ever going to beat Cena clean for that title. So, yeah, so just keep Cena away from Rusev. Just keep Rusev going, you know. Keep him undefeated. He's got to lose eventually, but just keep him going for now and let him go through Cena and then make him into a main eventer. I mean, if you have Roman Reigns as your World Heavyweight Champion, why not have Rusev, you know, beat Cena, perhaps beat Bryan, maybe even beat Randy Orton, and then have him go after Roman Reigns for the belt. You know, by then Rusev will be legitimized. Then you have a new top heel, and by God, we need a new top heel. Seth Rollins can't be the only heel we have in the company for the next 3 years, right? So we need to have someone who needs to do something. So Rusev, keep him going. Don't let him lose. Keep him going strong, and hopefully he wins at Mania. But I did enjoy that Fastlane match. Told a good story, and I'm glad he won. This one's from Robbie Sullivan. What did you think of Rhino's NXT return? I was very surprised. I didn't anybody expect Rhino to be back. Brian Kendrick as well. So they're bringing in these older veteran guys who've been around the blocks, been around the world, done it all, to work with these younger guys. And I think that's a really smart move, considering that NXT doesn't go on the road. And, well, they're starting to go on the road. But for the most part, they don't go overseas. They don't do anything like that unless they get called up to kind of work live events for the main roster. And that could take a couple of years as it is. So having these guys who've been around, are veterans, they know all these different styles, they can get an opportunity to work with these veteran talents, and that's a great move in my opinion. So Rhino coming back, he didn't look in the best of shape, but you know, him coming back, he can work with Kevin Owens, and he can have a big NXT pay-per-view match up there, and that could be pretty exciting to see. So there's a lot of possibilities there. So I don't know if he'll ever go to the main roster again. Maybe. I don't know. But honestly, I wouldn't mind it. I know he's 42 years old, but I wouldn't mind him having another little run at the main roster. But, you know, if they want to bring these guys in to work NXT, that's completely fine with me. And it makes kind of sense, to be honest with you. It should make for some exciting viewing and something different as well. So you get some new established talent coming in that we haven't seen for a long time, so it makes it even more fresh and exciting. So that's what NXT just keeps on doing, just keeps on doing some great things. Speaking of NXT, this one's from the Elite AUG. Are you interested with Samoa Joe going into NXT? Look, Samoa Joe, what is he, 35 years old now? I personally have been a fan of Samoa Joe. I mean, obviously the big Kurt Angle feud was amazing, but he hasn't exactly excelled in the past, you know, 5 or so years. So he's really gone down the rankings on TNA, and that's saying something in recent times. So he's got to have to come back, and I feel as though if he does get an NXT tryout, they're going to make him want to get in shape. He looks pretty bad, in pretty bad shape, you know, at least change his attire up. So I personally wouldn't mind seeing Joe in NXT. I don't know if he should spend much time in NXT. I don't think he will want to. But if you perhaps bring him in NXT and keep him off TV, I know that might sound kind of silly, but keep him off NXT and make him work live events on NXT just to kind of give him a feel, or maybe work just dark matches at NXT. Just give him a feel of, you know, what he has to do, the WWE style. Let him work there for 3 months and then bring him up. So don't bring him on NXT TV, because I feel as though that might devalue the appeal of Samoa Joe just a little bit. You know, bringing this guy in who's been on TV for the past decade, do we really need him on NXT? I don't know. So maybe for a little bit, but yeah. But I would be all for a Samoa Joe WWE signing, bring him in, coming into NXT, whatever. But it'd be someone different, and someone who we know he can work, and he can work a big monster kind of heel style at least, and you know, I'm sure we could have some great matches with Daniel Bryan, Seth Rollins, and, you know, so it could work. And, I mean, he's still young enough. I mean, honestly, they could bring him in for 3 or 4 years, and he could have a good WWE run. You know, he's still 35 years old, so there's no real point to kind of be afraid of his age. And he's established, he's a veteran talent now, so why not? Why would you be afraid of doing that? So, yes, sign him up. Last one from NovaPlayz. Brendan, how do you feel about Jeff Hardy and him making a WWE return and eventually becoming the champion? I tell you what, I get asked about Jeff Hardy every single day, whether it's my Universe mode or real WWE. When's Jeff Hardy coming back? Bring back Jeff Hardy on your Universe mode series. We love Jeff Hardy. Well, you guys love Jeff Hardy. Personally, I think he's okay. I think he's kind of just wasting his time in TNA. He's done everything in TNA. So if he came back to the WWE, it'd be huge. You know, huge babyface. It'd be exciting. Someone different that we haven't seen for a while. Like I've said, with Samoa Joe and Rhino, you know, someone different. And obviously Jeff Hardy's just retardedly over. It's just amazing, you know, the kind of momentum he had. So if he came back, it would be a great moment. It'd be a huge pop. So yeah, I definitely would bring back Jeff Hardy. I'm surprised he stayed in TNA. I thought he would have left TNA and gone to the WWE maybe last year, but you know, he stayed on. So I just think Jeff Hardy just likes the light schedule that he's doing. I've heard on some podcasts, he just likes working, you know, a couple of times a month. He doesn't really want to go on the road full time right now, which is fair enough. You can't blame the man for doing that. He's put his body on the line for, well, since he was 16, 17 or something, so nearly 20 years, so that's fair enough, man. So if he did come back, it'd be great. I would love to see him there, and yeah, so it'd be exciting. But that'll do it for today's episode of Let's Talk Tuesdays. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please do leave a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe to see more Let's Talk Tuesdays coming up in future weeks. And as well as that, if you want to go ahead and leave a question, you can do so in the comment section down below, or why don't you go join up BrendenPlayz.com/forums. Join the forums, leave a question over there, and join in the whole wrestling chat. You want to talk about Fastlane, you want to talk about NXT, talk about everything and everything about this episode. All the news that I covered in today's video, you can go talk about that on the forum. So go ahead and do that. Sign up. I'll see you over there, guys. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and hit me up on Twitter if you enjoyed today's video and let me know what you think, and I'll see you all on the next episode of Let's Talk Tuesdays.